Hi, very good morning. I am Archana Rajesh, founder of First Source Training. I am a certified corporate trainer and a POSH enabler with 22 years of experience in technology and training. My topic for today is awareness on POSH laws. I have a mission that no women should silently suffer for no fault of hers. So today we are going to focus on 5 major modules. The first one, history of POSH. Second one, what is POSH? Third one, where is it applicable? And fourth one, the major PPR, that is the prevention, prohibition and redressal. And the most important part is, I would say, it's a boon for all of us, all the trainers out there. Why do I say that? Because there is something in it for each one of you. So stay tuned and be with me to know more about the POSH laws. Moving on to our first topic, which is history of POSH, let's understand how POSH laws were formulated. This happened in 1990s. The person by name Banwari Devi was associated with the state of Rajasthan as an Anganwadi worker very close to a village in Jaipur. Her main job was to prevent child marriage. So the incidents, wherever it used to happen, she used to go there and share her concerns for that. The landlords of the Gajjar community got enraged with this. They wanted to teach her a lesson. They gang raped her in front of her husband. Then few NGOs got together and they put forth this case, and our Honorable Supreme Court, that is when issued the Vishaka guidelines. The guidelines to handle such issues, that is sexual harassment at workplace for women. Later in 2013, the POSH laws were formulated, which superseded the Vishaka guidelines. Now, our second topic, which is what is POSH law? The POSH law says sexual harassment of women at workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. Now let's understand the key words in this. What is meant by workplace and what is sexual harassment? Workplace is a place where one visits as part of her employment. Sexual harassment, according to Supreme Court, is a gross violation of women's right to equality and dignity. A workplace is a place where one visits as part of her employment. This includes organized and unorganized sector. Examples: government sector, private organization, hospitals, nursing home, sports institute, off-sites, outbound training areas. All these will come under the workplace category. Sexual harassment is a gross violation of women's right to equality and dignity. Now let's see some of the sexual harassment behaviors. A physical contact, a demand or request for sexual favors, a sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, or any other unwelcome conduct of sexual nature. It can be physical, it can be verbal or non-verbal also. Let's see the 4 types of sexual harassment: quid pro quo, internet harassment, hostile work environment and psychological harassment. Now what is meant by quid pro quo? It is expecting something in return. Like, example, I will give you a promotion or a hike in return of sexual favors, usually created by a person of higher authority. What is hostile work environment? Creating a the moment this person comes, she feels very uncomfortable, either based on some remarks he makes or whatever. That is, creating that kind of a hostile environment is the second one. Third one, internet harassment, sending emails, sending inappropriate messages through WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever, any social media for that matter. And psychological harassment, making the moment this person comes, she feels very depressed. Maybe because of some experience that happened in the past, there is psychological harassment. Where is this law applicable? Any establishment where you directly or indirectly engage people, the law is applicable and mandatory. Even if you have one employee in your organization, the law is applicable. If you have only male employees or if you have only female employees in your organization, still the law is applicable. People will have offices at different locations and they don't get to meet. They can say that we don't meet, we are located different, but the law is still applicable. For employees, for ad hoc employees, for temporary employees, for daily wages, also this law is applicable. Now we have come to the heart of the program, which is to see the prohibition, prevention and redressal. Prohibition says there should not be a single case of sexual harassment. So, to address that, there should be some preventive measures which we have to take. We will discuss in detail what are those. In even having taken the preventive measures, in case there is an incident of sexual harassment, what is the redressal mechanism? As preventive measures, every organization must have the anti-sexual harassment policy in place and displayed at prominent location in the organization. For example, in the reception, in the pantry area, in the washroom, etc. The organization must ensure a safe working environment for women employees. The POSH awareness program should be conducted regularly. The director's report should have a non-financial disclosure of POSH. The internal committee members' name and the contact email ID should also be displayed. So these are some of the preventive measures an organization should take to ensure that the sexual harassment doesn't happen. Even after having the necessary preventive measures, if such an incident happens, then there should be a redressal mechanism. Now let's see what is meant by redressal mechanism. An internal committee should be formed if there are more than 10 employees in the organization. There should be a presiding officer, there should be an external member and 2 other members from the same organization. The presiding officer should be a woman who is holding a very senior position in the company, and the external member should know the POSH laws and 2 other members who are also aware of the POSH laws. Once the complaint comes to the internal committee, they should address and come to a solution within 90 days. That's the rule, that's the guideline. What if the company if they don't comply to POSH laws? They can be subject to a fine of 50,000 rupees and later which their trade license can be cancelled. Hi, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ragesh and the entire Scoopin team for giving this platform to us. I would also like to thank Deepa and Rafiq, the We Legal team, for making me a POSH enabler. And I would thank all the trainers out there for patiently hearing to all my videos and also interacting with me. Thank you so much. Bye. See you again.